Good morning and welcome to the EPL Index Transfer Daily. It is Monday, the 3rd of June. And what is happening? Well, the big news that kind of broke, maybe a bit strong, but was almost confirmed, I think it's right to say, the Ornstein bomb overnight, was that Enzo Maresca has now signed his contract to be Chelsea manager. And obviously everyone's waiting for that announcement, which is expected any time today. Ornstein saying that it's 5 plus a year, which will be interesting to see. And then Fabrizio Romano yesterday did his here we go, whatever you think of him, and people think many things of him, don't they, for Kylian Mbappe, that those contracts are signed as well for him to go to Real Madrid. So the announcement will be when it will be, sometime for that one. So yeah, big news happening. And there's a bit of a German feel this morning, truth be told, as we get into this one, ladies and gents. So where are we starting? Bayern Munich. Okay, there's a few outlets on this, it's important to say, but Bayern Munich have made an approach about signing Bruno Fernandes from Manchester United, according to reports. Now, the main ones are coming out of Portugal, which is interesting, isn't it? Because these are Portuguese camp right now at the Euros. From Ojogo, I think it's pronounced, so that'll be one to keep an eye on. And then also, Jadon Sancho. Now, we talked about this. Dortmund obviously have Heermany and Matson on loan. And the big suspicion is because of their model, because of their finances, they're not going to be able to afford him. But Jadon Sancho is apparently, funnily enough, ready to go back to Manchester United, according to the Mirror, but only if Erik ten Hag leaves. Now, funnily enough, all the reports have had that Ian Matson's got that release clause around 32, 33 million, so that's expected to happen. But the Sancho one's going to be incredibly difficult, as we know, mainly because of his wages and everything that encompasses. So in all honesty, it's not looking good for Sancho staying in Dortmund. So that's why we said there's a little bit of a German feel in the theme this morning. Other news, I should go to another country, Italy. So Gazzetta dello Sport say that Victor Osimhen, the Napoli striker, 25 now, is waiting for an offer from Arsenal or Saudi Arabia, funnily enough. It'll be interesting to see if those are the offers he's waiting for, because one will offer more money, one will offer proper football. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that. Football Insider has got an interesting one. Former Manchester United boss Sir Alex Ferguson, as a director, ambassador for the club, isn't he? But he's met with Crystal Palace's sporting director, Dougie Freeman. Dougie Freeman signed an extension recently there, didn't he, when people thought he was looking like he was going to Newcastle. But the suggestion is, why they're having to talk about meeting, that they're meeting to discuss the possibility of selling particular players. That would Palace be open to selling the likes of Mark Gay, Eze, Michael Elise, centre-backs, attackers. Interesting meeting to see what happens there. Now, sticking on Crystal Palace, there's definitely a theme on a replacement for them, because the Mirror has got that they will move for Leeds Dutch winger Somerville, who's now 22, was Championship Player of the Year, wasn't he? If they do have to sell either Elise or Eze. So that will be interesting to see. And to be fair, Somerville has that feel, doesn't he, of a Crystal Palace player that one they take out the Championship, see if he can go to the next level. However, it's important to know, whether you think in the same article, the Mirror too mentioned that he's also a target for Liverpool and Chelsea, clubs that he's been linked with for some time now. An interesting one. Now, various outlets have this, that Kevin De Bruyne will have his pick, ladies and gentlemen. So why am I talking about Kevin De Bruyne? That he has the option to renew at Manchester City, but also at the same time that there's Saudi, MLS, and all sorts of offers available for the player that way. So it'll be interesting to see. And sticking on Football Insider and sticking on the Saudi thing, quite a lot got that Cristiano Ronaldo is trying to convince his pals to talk about who are his pals, but Nacho Fernandez, the Spain defender, he's set to go on a free, but also Casemiro. Thinking, why are we talking about Casemiro? I mean, it's well known United want to get his wages off the books, isn't it, realistically? So Barca in Spain is saying that he's trying to convince both those players, plural. Also, Tottenham, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Nottingham Forest, that is not a new rumour. We talked about that the other week. Football Insider has got that, they're trying to make that one happen before the end of the month, mainly because of Forest FFP, PSR situation, however you want to phrase it. The Times has got one we mentioned repeatedly, that West Ham are close this 25 million deal also for Luis Guilherme from Palmeiras. So the young winger, the left-footed right winger, Brazilian youngster. Telegraph has got one we mentioned before as well. The Newcastle are ramping up their attempts to sign Lloyd Kelly, obviously released on a free from Bournemouth. So that'll be interesting to see if that does finally get completed. And this one is kind of sprung from nowhere yesterday, but Fulham apparently have Emil Smith-Rowe, the Arsenal attacking midfielder, as their top target for the summer and are ready to bid for the international. So that will be an interesting one to see. And there's a few that we already know as well, that as well as Maresca, Tosin is expected to sign on a free there, which obviously raises questions about Chandler Bar and all others. So it will be interesting to see what happens this week. As we said, ladies and gents, June is an important month. Can't, reiterate that enough. The Euros, the Copa America make transfers difficult, but it's also the month, isn't it, by the end, for clubs for their FFP, PSR submission deadlines. So it is a really important month all round. And then probably just the other one to know, L'Equipe and Get French Football News, GFFN, as people would know it, have got the Ryan Cherky, I probably pronounced that wrong, but the Lyon attacking midfielder also plays on the wing, doesn't he? The French wonder kid, as he's known by a lot. He's of interest to a lot of Premier League clubs like Liverpool, Newcastle and Spurs. One of the big reasons being that the 20-year-old always had that potential, played a lot for a struggling Lyon team and done quite well, but he only has a year left to go on his contract. So it will be interesting to see if his next move is a renewal or if it is to the Premier League. But that's where we are, ladies and gents. There's plenty of talks, plenty of things happening. We are expecting confirmation of certain things this week, aren't we? As we said, probably anytime soon, Enzo Maresca to be officially confirmed. Kylian Mbappe, and the transfer window is fully up and underway. And that was your EPL Index Transfer Daily on Monday, the 3rd of June.